Have you noticed lately that even simple things feel heavier than they should? Not tragic, not catastrophic, just heavy. You open your phone and before you've had your coffee, you've been hit with 12 headlines, 6 opinions, 3 emergencies, 2 grip texts, and 1 person on the internet who apparently has solved the problems of civilization from a folding chair in their garage. And somehow you're supposed to walk into your day calm, focused, emotionally available, spiritually grounded, professionally sharp, and pleasant. Let me ask you something. Why does answering 1 more email feel like pushing a car uphill? Why does making 1 more decision feel like trying to do math while someone throws gravel at your windshield? Why do people who are strong, capable, intelligent, faithful, and experienced suddenly feel scattered, irritated, tired, and thin? I don't think it's because we're weak. I think it's because we are carrying more invisible weight than we know. And today, I want to talk about why everything feels heavy right now. Not so we can complain about the pressure, so we can learn how to carry it without losing clarity inside it. Welcome to I Am Built for Pressure. This is not a place for fake motivation. We are not taping a lion poster to the wall and pretending that it fixes your calendar. This is a place for leaders, pastors, parents, creators, teachers, business owners, and high-capacity people who are trying to stay clear in a noisy world. And I want to begin this whole journey with something very human. Why does life feel so heavy right now? Because I believe the first step toward clarity is not pretending you're fine. The first step toward clarity is telling the truth about the load. And some of us have gotten so used to carrying weight that we've stopped calling it weight. Imagine you're walking through an airport with a backpack and your team. At first it's fine. You've got your laptop in there, a charger, a book you're pretending you're going to read, maybe a snack because airport food prices require a small business loan. And then somebody on your team says, "Hey, can you carry this?" So you add a jacket. Then the other person on your team adds a water bottle. Then someone adds a folder. Then someone else says, "This will only take a second," and puts a brick in there. Now here's the thing, no single item feels dramatic. A jacket won't break you, a water bottle won't break you, a folder won't break you either, but eventually you bend down to tie your shoe and you think, why am I exhausted? Because it's not the one big thing, it was an accumulation. This is what many people are experiencing right now. It's not always one crisis. It's the accumulation of inputs, expectations, alerts, opinions, decisions, disappointments, responsibilities, and unresolved emotions. And when pressure accumulates without release, even small things start to feel heavy. That does not mean you are fragile. It means your system is overloaded. Let me give you 5 reasons everything feels heavy right now. Not to diagnose you. I'm not here in a lab coat. That would be alarming and frankly not my best look. But I do want to help name what many people are feeling. 1, information overload. We are consuming more information than we can meaningfully process. This is a difference between being informed and being flooded. Informed means I know what matters. Flooded means I know everything, but I can't tell what matters anymore. That's a dangerous place to live because when we read every headline and we all think it's urgent, urgency loses the meaning. When every voice is loud, wisdom becomes harder to hear. When every issue demands your emotional attention, your inner life starts running like a browser with 87 tabs open. Be honest with yourself there. And yes, one of them is playing music and nobody knows where it's coming from. 2, emotional fatigue. A lot of people are not physically tired first. They are emotionally tired. They are tired of bracing, tired of adjusting, tired of managing disappointment, tired of being the strong one, tired of walking into rooms where everyone needs something but very few people ask, "How are you actually doing?" Emotional fatigue is strange because you can still perform while you're carrying it. You can still lead a meeting. You can still preach the sermon. You can still run the business. You can still teach the class. You can still make dinner. You can still smile. But inside, something is whispering, "I don't know how much margin I have left." 3, constant reaction culture. We are not built to react to everything in real time, but modern world keeps us handing us those emotional pop quizzes every single day. Something happens and instantly everybody is expected to have a take. A tragedy happens, react. A leader fails, react. A headline breaks, react. A new technology emerges, react. And a conflict erupts, react. And if you don't react quick enough, people assume silence means agreement, disagreement, ignorance, cowardice, or conspiracy. That is exhausting. There is a kind of wisdom that requires slowness. There's a kind of clarity that cannot be microwaved. Some things need to simmer before they are spoken. But reaction culture does not reward thoughtful people. It rewards fast people. And fast is not always faithful. Fast is not always wise. And fast is not always clear. 4, pressure accumulation. Now, pressure is not always bad. This is important to know. Pressure can be focus. Pressure can develop strength. Pressure can reveal capacity. A weightlifter does not get stronger by avoiding resistance. A diamond is formed under pressure. A seed breaks open under pressure. A leader grows under pressure. So pressure is not the enemy. Unprocessed pressure is the problem. Unmeasured pressure is the problem. Unrelenting pressure is the problem, because pressure without recovery turns into heaviness. Pressure without clarity turns into confusion. Pressure without boundaries turns into resentment. Pressure without purpose turns into despair. 5, decision exhaustion. Some of you are not tired because you made bad decisions. You're tired because you've had to make too many decisions. What do we do next? Who needs a response? What should I ignore? What should I confront? What should I post? What should I cancel? What should I say? What should I not say? What does my team need? What does my family need? What does my church need? What does my business need? And somewhere in there, someone asked the question, what do you want to eat? And that is when the whole civilization collapses, because it is never just about dinner. It's about the fact that your brain has been acting like an air traffic control tower all day, and one more incoming plane feels like too much is happening. The day small things wasn't small will allow me to tell you a story. There was a day, and maybe many of you have had one like this, when nothing major happened, no disaster, no dramatic collapse, no emergency that would make the evening news, just a day. A few messages I had to answer, a couple of decisions that needed my attention, a conversation that had one more emotional weight than I could expect, a responsibility I had been putting off, a bit of bad news, a meeting that took longer than it should have, a person who needed care, a situation that needed wisdom. And by the end of the day, somebody asked me something simple. Simple. Not offensive, not unreasonable, not even difficult. And internally, I felt this ridiculous surge of irritation. And I remember thinking, why am I reacting this so strongly to something so small? Then it hit me. I was not reacting to the one thing. I was reacting from the accumulated weight of everything I had not processed. This is how heaviness works. It hides, it stacks, it waits, then it leaks out in places that confuses us. You snap at someone you love, you avoid a decision you need to make, you scroll instead of rest, you keep moving but stop feeling present. You sit down at night exhausted, but somehow you cannot fully relax. And you think, what is wrong with me? Maybe nothing is wrong with you, maybe your dashboard light is on. And instead of judging yourself for the light, maybe it's time to check the engine. When we check the engine light and you go into your car, you don't solve the problem by putting tape over the dashboard. Some of you have done that before, and you can do that. But now you have a car problem and a denial problem. This is not a strategy. This is a sermon illustration waiting to happen. The heaviness you feel may be a dashboard light. It may be telling you you are talking too much, or you're taking too much, and you're recovering too little, and you're reacting too quickly. You are deciding too often. You are carrying privately what was meant to be processed intentionally. So the goal is not to shame the heaviness. The goal is to listen to it, because heaviness is often your system saying something about the way we are carrying this needs to change. So what do we do? I want to give you 3 simple moves. Not 27, because that would be silly. 3. First, name the load. Do not just say, I'm stressed. That's too vague. Ask yourself, what exactly am I carrying? Am I carrying uncertainty? Am I carrying too many decisions? Am I carrying unresolved grief? Am I carrying responsibility for people who are not taking responsibility for themselves? Am I carrying constant input? Am I carrying pressure to be available all the time? Name the load, because unnamed pressure becomes generalized anxiety, but named pressure becomes something you can work with. Second, reduce the inputs. You cannot have a clear mind if every voice gets a key to your front door. Some of us need fewer inputs, not more inspiration. Fewer alerts, fewer feeds, fewer reaction cycles, fewer people who are allowed to set the emotional temperature of our day. Try this. Before you reach for your phone in the morning, give yourself 10 minutes of silence. Prayer, journaling, scripture reading, walking, breathing, anything that lets your soul arrive before the world starts shouting. Do not let the algorithm disciple your nervous system before you have even brushed your teeth. This is not holiness. This is just bad scheduling. Third, lower the decision count. Clarity often comes from reducing unnecessary choices. Create defaults. Same morning rhythm. Same planning time. Same places for your keys. Same processes for reviewing your week. Same rule for when you respond to non-urgent messages. High-capacity people do not need more willpower. They need better systems, because every unnecessary decision steals energy from the decisions that actually matter. So why does everything feel so heavy right now? Because we are living in a world of constant input, constant reaction, constant availability, constant uncertainty, and constant decision making. But hear me, heavy does not mean hopeless. Heavy does not mean you are failing. Heavy does not mean you are weak. Sometimes heavy is simply the sign that pressure has accumulated and clarity needs to be rebuilt. And that is what this series is about. Not escaping the pressure, not pretending pressure is easy, but becoming the kind of person who can carry weight without losing wisdom. The kind of leader who can stay steady when the room gets loud. The kind of parent, teacher, pastor, business owner, creator, friend, and human being who can say, I feel the pressure, but I am not going to let the pressure make me unclear, because I am built for pressure, and pressure will not get to define who I become. If this has connected with you, subscribe and stay with me through this first season. In the next episode, we are going to talk about the hidden cost of always being available, because availability feels noble until it starts quietly emptying you out. And this week, ask yourself this question: what am I carrying that I have not named yet? Start there. Clarity begins when the load gets a name.